Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today I am so excited because I'm making candied spam sliders with pineapple and coleslaw. Today's video is a collaboration with my friend Kevin from the channel Trap Bistro TV. Now, he is always cooking with really unique ingredients, some that I couldn't even find around here, but others that I've just never tried before. His videos are always really intriguing and exciting for me to watch. I saw his candied spam video about a month or two ago, and it made me so hungry. I grew up eating spam. I don't know about you, but my mom cooked it all the time. I liked it extra crispy. I would always have it for breakfast with ketchup. It was so good. So it's kind of like ham in a can if you've never seen it or heard of it before. It's really salty, and when you make it nice and crispy, it's kind of like having like breakfast sausage or bacon. It's just another kind of meat you can have at breakfast or at dinner time too, which we're gonna try out today. So I got in touch with Kevin. We had been talking about wanting to do a collaboration together for a little bit now, and I said, I really want to do something with spam. And then he got back to me and said he had watched my Slaw Dogs video, which I'll link for you below. And his idea was to create a slider sandwich that combined his candied spam with my homemade coleslaw recipe. And I just thought that was so brilliant. So today we're each going to share with you kind of our version of this candied spam slider with some form of coleslaw. I'm making more of my original recipe, but I'm going to slice up some fresh pineapple and use his marinade to candy the pineapple too, which I think is going to be awesome. And then I think he's adding some tropical fruits into his coleslaw. So I'm going to insert a clip of him telling you a little bit more about himself and his channel.
What's up, guys? I'm Kevin.
And I'm Marissa.
And we're Trap Bistro TV. In our channel, you're going to see Hawaiian and Filipino food, Vietnamese food, and last but not least, prison food. So go ahead and check us out if you get a chance, and we're so happy to be here with Anne on Anne's Family Recipe.
The other thing that I love about Trap Bistro TV is that Kevin is always sharing these awesome gardening tips. He has this fantastic garden. I'm totally living vicariously through him because we have so much wildlife in our backyard. It would be really hard for us to have a really flourishing garden. And he has tropical fruits and all kinds of veggies and interesting things growing in his backyard. So that's a really fun element of his channel too. So make sure that after you watch my video, you go over to Kevin's channel and check it out. I'm gonna link it in the description box below, along with his wife Marissa's channel too. I'll put that all down below. So the first thing we have to do is crack open our can of spam. So the next thing I'm going to do is just slice this up kind of into hopefully about 6 slabs, and then I'll divide them up in half so they'll fit on a little Hawaiian slider bun. Next, we're going to prepare this sweet and tangy glaze that's going to candy our spam. Now, I noticed in Kevin's original video that he used black pepper flavored spam, and they didn't have that at my grocery store, so I just grabbed the original flavor, but I am going to add some freshly cracked black pepper into our glaze. So all you need are 6 tablespoons of brown sugar. Mine is light. I think he used dark brown sugar, but I think we're still going to get that same kind of caramely flavor and consistency. And then to that, I'm adding 6 tablespoons of yellow mustard. And according to Kevin, he says this is not too much mustard. It will not be overpowering. It's just going to give it a nice tangy flavor and then also help the glaze to stick to our spam. It smells awesome. And it's kind of neat because as I stir this together, it's going to create kind of a runny glaze that we'll dip all of our spam slices into. This glaze looks and smells so good. Not only are we going to candy our spam, but we're also going to candy some fresh slices of pineapple. So we'll pop those under the broiler too. So I cut up my fresh pineapple into little wedges, and I'm going to link a couple of videos for you below. I've made pulled pork tacos before with an avocado and pineapple salsa, and I've also made an easy pineapple appetizer. And both times I walked you through step by step on how I cut up my pineapple, because if you can, you really want to eat fresh pineapple. They are just so juicy and a little bit tangy and really sweet, and they just make it. I've got my spam, which I actually sliced down the middle too, so now I have little pieces that are going to fit perfectly on my Hawaiian buns, and my pineapple, and my brown sugar and mustard glaze. Now I'm gonna dip the meat and the fruit into the glaze and then place them on this baking tray. Now, Kevin used what he called a turbo oven. It was like this glass bowl with a lid that's secured on top, and then it kind of baked and crisped up the Spam inside. I do not have that, so this is a slightly experimental portion of today's video. I'm gonna broil these, which I think is gonna work well. I have the broiler preheating just to low. I'm gonna keep the door cracked and really keep an eye on them because of course we don't want them to burn. In case you didn't know, Spam is actually pre-cooked, so you could eat it straight out of the can, although I don't really recommend that. I think you really wanna crisp up the outside a little bit. But I'm not worried so much about cooking it through. I mean, I wanna heat it through, but you don't need to like cook the meat. It's already cooked through. So we just wanna crisp up the outside and make it nice and candied or caramelized. So let's go. So I forgot to mention too that I lined my baking tray with foil and then sprayed it with a little bit of baking spray just so that nothing sticks, especially because this is gonna get nice and kind of gooey and caramely in consistency. You don't want it to stick to your pan because that will be a mess to clean up. Now, I am thinking that after about, I don't even know, maybe like 5 minutes, we'll just have to wait and see. But after a little bit of time under the broiler on the first side, I'm gonna flip all of these over too, just so they get crispy and evenly cooked on both sides. So let's see how it goes. While my Spam and pineapple slices broil in my oven, I'm gonna make the dressing for my coleslaw. Now, I'm gonna link, of course, to my slaw dog video, and I'll put the full coleslaw recipe in the description box below. Today, I'm just making a little bit, so I'm downsizing it even more than by half. So I'm not gonna tell you the measurements, but I'll tell you all the ingredients that I'm throwing in for the dressing. So I'm adding in a little bit of sugar, a splash of apple cider vinegar. You could use white vinegar here too. A splash of milk. That'll just thin it out a little bit. And then the main component of our dressing is mayonnaise. That should be plenty for our salad tonight. And then to season it up, I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of kosher salt, some black pepper, and then a little secret ingredient I like to use is poppy seeds. It adds a little bit of a crunch, and I love that nice black color too. Nice contrast with all our other ingredients. So I'll just stir this all together. So far, it's been about 7 minutes on the first side. I pulled my tray out, and now I'm gonna flip everything over. The brown sugar glaze is getting nice and caramelized. So now we'll flip them over so we can get the same appearance on the other side. For this second side, I'm going to bump my broiler temperature up to high because I'm hoping that that'll help get them a little bit crispier on top. For my original slaw dog video, I used my food processor to chop up all of the veggies in one fell swoop. But today I'm taking some help from the grocery store and I'm just using bagged coleslaw mix. I was super excited because my new expanded Aldi now carries coleslaw, so I didn't have to go to a second store to get it. It made it so easy. So this already has my cabbage and carrots in it, and then I also grated up a little bit of green bell pepper, and I had some green onions on hand, so instead of using finely diced or grated white onions like I did in my original recipe, I'm just subbing in the green onions, and it'll give it that same kind of mild onion flavor, a little bit of a bite in the background. It's gonna be so good with our Spam and pineapples. I'm gonna give my coleslaw a quick taste to check for seasoning, and then we'll get everything out of the oven. Perfect. One quick tip I have for you that I just learned as I was assembling my incredible looking sandwich here in front of me. Definitely have a fork or a spatula to help you move the Spam from your baking tray onto your Hawaiian roll. That Spam is coated basically in boiling hot brown sugar, and it kind of burned my fingertips. So just a word to the wise. use something other than your hands to transfer the Spam to the roll. Kevin, this was an amazing idea. I know it's gonna taste awesome, but I have to give it a taste just to be sure, right? Here we go. Oh yeah. I feel the slaw on my face. It's so good. Spam is delicious. Kind of nostalgic for me too, because I grew up eating it. It's got that sweet, slightly tangy coating. He was totally right. The mustard flavor is not overpowering at all. It's just very subtle. It goes perfectly with the sweet pineapple, which I'm so glad I added to this sandwich. It's a little bit juicy and caramelized too. And the coleslaw is nice and cold and crunchy, and it's just the perfect contrast to the Spam and pineapple. If you're here visiting from Trap Bistro TV, welcome and please subscribe. And make sure you check my description box below so you can subscribe to Kevin's channel, Trap Bistro TV. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon with another family recipe.